Back to Besa starts right now on Fox 13.
Welcome to another episode of Back to Besa. I'm your host, Besa Gordon, and as Black History Month starts to wind down, we wanted to take a moment to relive some of our favorite experiences had on the show. So, if you haven't, please grab your snacks. This week on Back to Besa, we head to Redmond, Washington for a golf lesson with former Seahawks legend Jermaine Kearse. We head to Washington Hall as I was a ring announcer for DEFY Wrestling. I take Seattle Kraken official DJ Trunks to the zoo after finding out he'd never been. We head to Boise State University for the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Northwest Chapter's Storytelling Conference. We go to Spokane for the Terrain Art Festival pop-up. We relive the next 50 of hip-hop celebration at KEXP. Plus, we head to Roslyn, Washington to tell the story of the Craven family's annual reunion. Plus, I have some very special news to share with you. But up first, we're off to Spokane. If you've never been to Spokane, you may be surprised at times to hear about some of the moves being made by the thriving Black community there. A great example of it is Ginger Ewing, who is a co-founder and the executive director of Terrain, a nationally recognized nonprofit that celebrates Spokane, creates a sense of belonging, and amplifies the voices within their community. Let me tell you, each year, Ginger and her team puts on the Terrain Art Festival, which might be one of the biggest one-day art pop-ups in this part of America as it takes over Spokane each year. This pop-up is so fire that I kid you not, I've taken the road trip to Spokane for the last 2 years just so I don't miss it. And apparently, over 10,000 others didn't want to miss it either. Let's take a moment to find out why.
So Terrain, aside from kind of really opening doors to a lot of emerging artists and very intergenerationally, just like culminating all the different artists and creators in Spokane, I think it's really the community that makes Terrain really special. Here, I mean, in this like abandoned building, for 2 days, we turn it into this magical place.
This is a place where your imagination runs wild. All of this artwork, all of these people, you walk around this space and you wonder, where are these people all day long? There is so much energy and creativity and connection that happens here at Terrain. We kind of wish it happened every day.
It's become this space where people of different colors, different ethnicities have really come together and shared what their journey is like. And I think Terrain is important. I think it's so cool that the community comes out and supports an event like this and really just shows us that art is important and art does keep things really strong and going.
Sometimes our culture and our tradition can kind of get pigeonholed into these thematic exhibits, whereas now it gets a wider audience, especially our work is going to be seen by a lot of people who probably normally wouldn't see our work.
Yep.
So.
I stand on hot earth, but I can still grow. It's been a hard search digging through my dark soul. It's still food for thought, even when it's served cold. Cause even living with one arm, I'm still whole.
There's an energy here. We just saw a performance talk about healing, and I really do think that when you come and you experience this event, there's some healing that happens in your soul. You feel connected to your community. You feel connected to your own personal humanity. You feel connected to the person next to you. It could be a stranger. And so yes, we talk about dance, we talk about multimedia, we talk about the thousands of people who come through the doors, but really I want to convey the sense of human connection that happens at this event.
This is our town, this is our rules, these are our people. And so to me, Terrain's special because when you show up, you're gonna see your friend's art hanging on the wall, you're gonna see it next to world-class art, and you're gonna feel the gravity that like Spokane is an arts town, Spokane has culture.
Just for this show alone, there are hundreds of us that are out here creating, and I think it gives you a big, vast look on, hey, there is a ton of art, there's a ton of culture, there's things that are booming here in Spokane, and I'm just really happy to be a part of it.
I'm trying to tell you, Black women in Spokane, like Ginger, are really putting on for their city and making it to where even I from Seattle come over there at least once a year to live my best life. I think what I love most about the Terrain Art Festival is that it's not just one kind of art. You have paintings, exhibits, dancing, singing, poetry, movies, storytelling, and more. There is truly something for every art lover, which I think is one of the things that keeps people coming back each year. You can learn more about Ginger and Terrain by visiting terrainspokane.com. Before we go to break, I have some very special news to tell you all. No, I'm not moving or anything like that, and honestly, it has more to do with our community than me. Over the last several months, the Back to Besa production crew has been documenting the story of Tame Wakoma and the Sankofa Theater, which was located at the Inscape Arts Building in the International District, to tell the story of what started out as a call to action to our community to help save Sankofa and turned into a story of grief, pain, and loss. The result is a film called Sankofa Theater Inscape Finale, and it will premiere right here on Fox 13 Seattle on Tuesday at 7 p.m. with a conversation moderated by Fox 13's Sabira Rayford. Not gonna lie, it gives me a larger sense of purpose to be able to use this platform here on Fox 13 to continue doing what we've been doing here on Back to Besa since day one, and that's tell stories about what's happening in and to our community in a way that actually speaks to our community. At only 34 episodes in, we're already putting out our first primetime TV special, and we're doing it our way. Now, before we go to break, I'm going to show you the trailer for Sankofa Theater Inscape Finale. Please mark your calendars because this is one film you're not going to want to miss.
There's a group of family who bought the building who have no intentions of it being an art space. Then Elijah was murdered.
He was riding with his 9-year-old nephew when they were both shot near Broadway and Pine just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
If the community wants to see Sankofa continue and thrive, we're going to actually need your support on this.
Save the Sankofa Theater.
Save Sankofa.
Save Sankofa. Save Sankofa. Save Sankofa. Save Sankofa.
Welcome back to Besa. The celebration of 50 years of hip hop was huge in Seattle all 2023. One of the events that really had the city moving was when Creative Justice presented the Next 50 of Hip Hop, which included not only classes and workshops at the Washington Hall in Seattle Central District, but also a concert and a very special awards ceremony at KEXP over at the Seattle Center, featuring performances by Gifted Gab, I Am Shamel, Rel Be Free, Black Stacks, Oblate, and many more. Let's take a moment to relive the Next 50 of hip hop.
Today we are having the Next 50, which is a celebration of the legacy of hip hop and an opportunity to envision the future. We've been doing that through workshops earlier today, and then tomorrow we're gonna have a community day where there's resources, a cipher, open session, and of course we're gonna feed the people. I'm so excited that today we've been able to uplift local talent. First of all, we've been able to have arts organizations like Creative Justice, Totem Star, The Residency, uplifting the voices and the talent of young people in hip hop, while simultaneously bringing to the forefront folks like Get 'Em Set, Rel Be Free, I Am Shamel, Oblate, legends like Black Stacks, and then finishing out our set with a headliner, Cyrock and Soul Messiah.
Seattle's best, the Northwestern be Pacific now. The high point on Dale Ridge is where we place the crown.
Like the neighbors out there knows if you think I'm me. Up before town, I'm a poor shorty stocking.
A big part of this event has also been giving people their flowers now. We've lost a lot of people that we love in community. Devon Pickett, Elijah L. Lewis. And today we were able to give out community awards that acknowledge their work, but also uplifted people who are currently doing work to serve our community.
You just gotta heal, and you just gotta feel. Look, family, chill. You ain't gotta ill, nah. You just gotta chill. You just gotta feel. Look, you depending on you right now. 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 Look.
I never been perfect, I strive to be better. Going through the storm, gotta dress for the weather. If you put me in the game, I'ma play my part. But I can't win the ship if my defense slow.
I don't know what's home, it's in a place or in a time, or in a combination that lives somewhere in our mind. Maybe we don't know it until we leave it behind. Or maybe
celebrating 50 years of hip hop, a culture that was birthed out of Black struggle to build something innovative, to be able to speak truth to power, to also be able to bring peace into our communities, a music genre and culture that people said they didn't think would last. We're 50 years in and we're excited to have a space where people can imagine the next 50. What about hip hop do we want to keep bringing forward? What about hip hop do we need to leave in the past? And what about hip hop will we innovate?
2024 will mark 51 years of hip hop, and although a lot of the hip hop we hear in the mainstream these days isn't as robust as it used to be, I'm happy that we still have artists in this generation of hip hop like Gifted Gab, I Am Shamel, Oblay, and more that still have something to say that can make you think when they hit the booth. Oh, by the way, speaking of hip hop, if you know of an artist I should interview on the show, send me an email at backtobesa@whereweconverge.com, and if I think they're dope, I'll have them on the show. But they gotta be dope. We're off to another commercial break, but when we come back, since we're talking about our favorite experiences, we're revisiting the time I was a ring announcer at DEFY Northwest. Back to Besa. Growing up in Seattle, this little black girl loved her some wrestling. So much I watched it religiously and even imagined myself in the ring, feeling that electric energy of the crowd screaming. But I didn't want to be one of the wrestlers. I don't know about you, fighting every day at work isn't my thing, okay? Now, being a ring announcer on the other hand, yeah, that was on my list of dream jobs. Well, not too long ago, I got to live out one of my childhood dreams when I got a call from Matt Farmer, co-founder of DEFY Wrestling, to be ring announcer for their first ever all-women's match. Dude, I was like, yes please, when I tell you I had the time of my life announcing this match. Let's take a moment to check out how I did.
And now, coming to the stage, we got Roslyn!
Hey guys, Besa here. We're currently at Washington Hall for the DEFY Wrestling WC Spirit event. Dude, let me tell you something. I am a huge fan of wrestling, but in this moment, I actually get to be the ring announcer for these amazing ladies. So look, we're gonna tap in and see what goes down today when DEFY Wrestling comes to Seattle. Let's check it out.
I watched wrestling on TV. Oh, and honestly, that was all I knew and all I watched. I didn't know that independent wrestling happened. But then later on, as I got older, I got back into wrestling in college, and I went to a music festival. And all of a sudden, I'm watching a band on stage, and then two people in underwear fighting in front of me. And I said, what the hell is going on?
I've always been really skinny and small and kind of told all my life I couldn't be a wrestler. And as I got older, I kind of I just didn't give anymore what people thought, you know what I mean? So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. Time's a ticking. I don't have a lot of time to waste. I'm just gonna do it.
What is coming up next for women in wrestling?
You know, I think what's coming up next is that we don't even have to ask that anymore. It's just gonna be equal. You know, we don't have to be like, it won't be like we have to highlight the women, we have to. They'll just be highlighted because they're just as good as the guys, you know?
To be here is truly a different experience all in itself. Like, you watch it online and you watch GIFs and you go, oh man, that looks cool. But to actually feel this crowd, to feel how hot it is in there, just to like see everybody's faces and talk to them at the merch table, like the Defiance, the fans here, they are like special for sure. I'm having the best time.
Even getting punched in the face by Medusa herself, that was awesome.
Shout out to DEFY for having me here. Shout out to the amazing women that pulled up today to freaking Washington Hall. This was absolutely amazing. And honestly, you guys, I am hoping that I get to do this again. Oh my goodness, I can't even speak right now. This experience was absolutely amazing for me. Not going to lie, I definitely cried later that night. Not because I sucked as a ring announcer, but because it was a moment I imagined as a little girl, sitting on the floor, watching wrestling, and I finally got to live it. And I didn't mess up. If you haven't been to a DEFY match and you're in the Washington State area, I suggest coming to a match next time they're in town. I know I'm sure going to be there. You can grab details about upcoming matches at defywrestling.com. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, over the last few months, you've seen me with DJ Trunks, who DJs everything from Seattle Storm games, Kraken games, and even most recently, the Sports Star of the Year Awards after party. I first met Trunks while he was DJing a Seattle Kraken game, and it didn't take long for us to both learn we both love wrestling. One day, I asked Trunks if there was something he's never done, and surprisingly, he said he's never been to the zoo. Now, you know I couldn't let that stand. I told Trunks we would have to fix that ASAP, and this is what happened when we pulled up to the Woodland Park Zoo.
Hey, what's up? It's DJ Trunks, DJ for your Seattle Kraken and your Seattle Storm, and never have I ever been to the zoo.
So let me get this straight, friend. Yeah, you've never been to the zoo?
No, I've never been to the zoo.
Not even in elementary?
I'm pretty sure that was the day that I fake sick.
Okay, well, you know, no judgment. I used to do that back in the day too. I don't care how old you are. When you go to the zoo, you feel like a little kid again. So we're gonna fix that today.
Okay, I'm down. It's on my to-do list. Let's do this.
Say less, let's get it.
Let's go.
Hi, I'm Farah.
Hi, DJ Trunks. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Besa told me it's your first time at the zoo.
It is, first time.
Well, I figured for your first time we could do something that's a little bit different and that I know you've definitely never done before. And Besa, maybe you've never done it either.
I don't know, let's find out.
All right, well, I'm thinking that for our first stop, we can go behind the scenes and you can feed a rhino. Are you up for it?
Yeah.
Besa, what do you think?
Let me change my shoes.
All right.
My goodness, right after I changed my shoes, I definitely have a check on my buddy Trunks because once we walked around that corner, neither of us were ready for the sight of Taj. Taj is the heaviest animal at the zoo, and believe it or not, at the age of 6 years old, he is currently 4,000 pounds, and get this, got that size by only eating vegetation. And when he's fully grown, oh my goodness, he will be 6,000 pounds, 6 feet tall at the shoulders, and 13 feet long.
All right, who wants to go first?
I do.
Go for it.
Hey.
It's like a
Here you
conveyor
go,
belt
buddy.
in there.
There you go. Oh, there you go.
If you're ready, we can get going, and I've got some other things I'd love to show you.
Definitely.
I am hyped, let's do it.
This is amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for visiting
Thank you.
us. Thank you.
Bye, Taj.
Bye, Taj.
So I know you as being the Kraken DJ, but for some people, they don't know that you're not from here. You're actually from Atlanta. How did you get up here?
Well, I came up here by way of Las Vegas. I was living there for a little while, DJing there, and eventually ran to the right people and made my way up here to Seattle for the Kraken. I did the expansion draft, and kind of the rest was history.
Now, after learning more about DJ Trunks and how he went from Atlanta to Vegas all the way up to Seattle, it was time to go to our next location, which was the Butterfly Garden. And oh my God, what a garden it was.
Wow. This has to be the most relaxing place in the world. Oh, I want one to land on me, but nobody's taking the bait.
How many different species of butterflies are in here?
Well, right now there's about 10 species flying around.
Okay.
As the season goes on, we'll have more. And as you can see, there's cocoons, and you can actually watch these butterflies emerge, which is really special.
Where are we off to next?
Why don't we go check out the penguins?
Yes.
I'm down.
Yes.
I'm down.
Let's go on
Yes.
this one.
Okay.
Penguins. They're so cute. Wow. Hey, happy feet. What's up, buddy? Hey, man. Hey.
He said, "What's up?"
This is great. Oh, he's going. Oh, there they go. Wow.
Oh, that was so freaking cool.
So what does the stripe on their body mean?
That's an adult penguin, so you can tell the difference between the adults and the juveniles. The adults have that black stripe kind of across their chest, and if you look at the younger ones, they kind of have a full white body all the way up.
Oh my goodness.
And that sound that you're hearing, that kind of honking noise,
Right.
that's their natural sound. It's called braying. When you look at a penguin, I don't know what you expect to hear, but I don't know that it's that.
I definitely
honestly
didn't expect that.
I didn't even know they made a noise, to be honest.
I was expecting a silent
Yeah.
area. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Yeah, we have about 40 penguins here, and all of them are different. They all have unique personalities, kind of like humans, and their keepers that take care of them know every single one of them.
Let everyone know where they can see you at in person DJing next.
Catch me at Climate Pledge. That's kind of it.
Catch me at Climate Pledge. I like that. I've gone to the zoo so much, I lost count. Definitely couldn't let Trunks go on without having that experience, that's for sure. And while we're on the subject of the zoo, if you remember, last summer we went to the Jungle Party, and if you didn't make it last year, tickets for this year's Jungle Party go on sale March 15th, and you can get more details about that over at zoo.org. It's time for another commercial break, but when we come back, it's time for a quick history lesson as we head over to Roslyn, Washington to meet the Craven family. You're watching Back to Besa. Welcome back to Besa. It's still Black History Month, so it wouldn't be right if we didn't take a moment to look at some Black history from right here in Washington State. Located just on the other side of the Cascade Mountain Range, about 80 miles east of Seattle, is Roslyn, Washington, where the Craven family comes together each year to celebrate their history and the Black coal mining families in Roslyn, Washington. Not too long ago, we teamed up with the Black Heritage Society and their president, Stephanie Johnson Tolliver, to tell this family's rich history and learn how they've kept their history alive since 1889. Let's take a moment to learn the history and contributions of Black families in the Roslyn area.
Really happy to be here this weekend in Roslyn, Washington with my Converge family. Thank you for this road trip today to hook up with the Craven family who celebrate every year their history and the Black coal mining families here in Roslyn, Washington, a really rich history. So excited to be here today and talk to the Craven family. Black people in Roslyn still, but came here in the late 1800s for coal mining, came to Roslyn looking for the promised land, looking for jobs being promised to them. Show up to a town where, yes, Black miners and miners were needed, but they didn't understand that there was also a strike that was going on at the same time. So it was real contentious when they arrived, but they thrived here, and as you see today, they're still here and celebrating here today. Landing here in Roslyn, actually thriving here in Roslyn for a number of years, but then deciding that, you know, maybe the grass was a little greener toward Yakima. So they moved toward Yakima and even to the Tri-Cities area and built homes there. And still you see rich families, rich groups of family and history there in the Tri-Cities and still in Yakima as well. The Mount Olivet Cemetery here, definitely there's a distinction between the grave sites that are there, headstones that are there and headstones that are missing, right? So you have a Black cemetery, Mount Olivet here in Roslyn, Washington. And sadly, it's not in the best condition. You know, you saw it today, and hopefully with some effort with the community here in Roslyn and Black Heritage Society and maybe to the National Trust for Historic Preservation, we can support some energy around helping to sustain the cemetery. It's our history, right? We're rooted here in Washington State. There's so much that is buried here about Black people, and unless we do that digging and correct all of those narratives that are out there about our history in Washington State, then we don't have it. So it's important to be here to tell these stories, collect these stories, and then we preserve the stories at BHS.
Growing up with my dad, being the second oldest of his kids with my mom, getting to come and see all of my family. This is kind of the only time I really got to see my family, because I grew up over here and all of them kind of grew up on the west side or in Georgia and everything. So it's really important to get to see family and get to see family traditions that were passed on from his older sister, and see all the family coming together and being one. This town's really important to me. I've been here all my life, so I want to keep this tradition going for all the younger generations. Their dad just came up here expecting work, a new life, and then it turns out, it was actually for breaking a strike and everything. But my grandmother, his mom, was born up here. She was born in the Roslyn area. So, even though the Cravens technically haven't been here for that long, our family has been here since the beginning of the town, which is really just amazing. We're very lucky enough to have a room up in Suncadia named after us with a few of the other families like the Owens. So it's very nice and very important that people learn about our history, about African Americans actually getting to live up here. A lot of people don't know that. It's very surprising when you see Black people up here.
For me, it's given me a chance to meet a lot of my family I haven't seen for a long time. Plus, it's historical. It's my mother. I have an article here where my mother said it started. She remembers 1917 they had it. It was called the Emancipation Picnic. But then in 1978, when they started it back, they called it the Black Pioneer Picnic. But my mother said that it had started around 1917. She could remember, and so that it was started to honor the emancipation, but it just changed to a name to the where we meet everybody and friends, and anybody can come, and it gives us a chance to also for the young people to sort of get renewed with their Black history, and that's what's important for me. If you don't know where you come from, you may not know where you're going.
Preserving our history couldn't be more important these days, especially with different cities and states omitting parts of Black history from our youth history books. It's important for us to continue to tell these stories so the next generation knows where we came from. Quick, fun Craven family fact. William Craven was the first African-American elected as mayor in the state of Washington. He was appointed in 1975 and later elected in 1976 as the mayor of the town of Roslyn, Washington. Yeah, when I tell you the Craven family has a rich history, I highly suggest looking them up and digging deeper into their story. We're off to another break, but when we come back, we're headed to Redmond, Washington for a golf lesson with former Seahawks legend Jermaine Kearse. Welcome back to Besa. Never Have I Ever is a segment I can't wait to explore more in the upcoming episodes. It gives me a chance to try something new and, well, if I like it, recommend you all try it too. Not too long ago, I went to Evergreen Golf Club in Redmond, Washington to get my first ever lesson on playing golf with Seahawks legend and golf enthusiast Jermaine Kearse. Jermaine co-founded Evergreen Golf Club with caddy Greg Bodine after retiring from football. And of course, I had to get the deets on what made him go into the golf business, plus get a quick lesson to see if golf is something I want to do in my free time. Let's see how I did.
Hey guys, Besa Gordon here. This is another episode of Back to Besa, but this time I am front and center for Never Have I Ever, and I have a very special guest with me. Hello, Jermaine Kearse, how are you?
I'm doing well, welcome.
Thank you. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell where we are, but we are at his golf course right here in Redmond, Washington. It is called Evergreen Golf Club, and honestly, my first question to you is, why Redmond?
Me and my business partner chose Redmond because it was just a good central location for the east side, and the people that we wanted to kind of reach and bring out to the city of Redmond. So I was just kind of exploring a little bit what I wanted to do post-football. I knew that I loved golf. I started playing probably around 8 to 10 years ago while playing football. And so it was just a passion that continuously grew. My business partner, Greg Bodine, he's actually a caddy on the Live Tour for Bryson DeChambeau. So he's actually out at a tournament today. We both had the same passion for golf. We have a huge passion for junior golf. And so we decided to create this place, and it's been a ton of fun and a huge learning experience for both of us.
What was the thing that you loved most when you first started doing golf?
But it's just being out there with my friends. You're spending a huge portion of the day competing, enjoying each other's company, and it's a great place to build relationships, whether it's with friends or business partners.
Now, you did mention the youth getting into golf. I'm curious to know, how old do you think it would be great for youth to start trying out golf?
Yeah, I don't think there's any age limit to start. Most kids what we've seen so far is a lot of kids around 6 to 8 are really kind of getting into it and just learning the basics, whether it's the grip, posture, and just kind of the basics of the swing. So around kind of 6 to 8 years old, you started to see kids get into it a little more. What I've learned is when you get into golf, you're committing for a lifetime.
It'll take some time.
It's gonna take some time to get better, but I think that's the attraction to it, is that it's not something that you can easily do, and you got to kind of put time and effort into it.
Shoot, I'm not even gonna hold you. I know nothing about where to start out with golf, so I'm gonna actually have you show me a few things so that way I can, I would say, get my footing, but it's gonna take a little bit for that. But we're gonna definitely try some things today.
Yeah. But like the more you swing, the better you're getting at it.
That's right.
It's just a lifelong project of just working on your game and trying to improve.
Why do you think that so many people of color shy away from golf?
Historically kind of an elitist sport. It's an expensive sport. And I think post-COVID, things are kind of definitely changing, and you're getting a different crowd of people that are getting interested. It's not that country club, atmosphere as much anymore. I think the rate is kind of increasing rapidly, which is great to see, and more people are getting interested and just trying to find ways to just provide opportunities to create more exposure for that.
Looks like Evergreen Golf Club has something for everyone. It has something for every freaking weather and even time of day. Definitely pull up to Redmond and check it out, and you might even see Jermaine Kearse playing here.
You might.
I don't care what anyone says, I honestly didn't do too bad. Clearly, I still have lots of work to do, but that's any time you try something new. You're not going to be good at it right away, but if it's worth it, you'll practice until you're good at it. What's great about Evergreen Golf Club is that they have lessons for adults and juniors, so everyone is able to try their hand at golf in a safe and non-judgmental environment. For more information, you can visit evergreengolfclub.com. Now, it's time for another commercial break, but when we come back, we're jumping on a plane and heading to Boise, Idaho for the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Northwest Chapter's Storytelling Workshop. You're watching Back to Besa. Welcome back to Besa. Not too long ago, NATIS, the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Northwest Chapter, held a storytelling conference in Boise, Idaho at Boise State University, and I decided to take a chance on me by going. Not only is it important to make sure you're always putting yourself in situations to meet new people in your industry, it's equally important to keep learning so you're always better than the old version of yourself. I mean, that's at least what's been working for me over the years. Anywho, while there, I was happy to connect with other Black storytellers like Katie Hall, Jessica Davis, and Cornelius Hawker, where we got a chance to talk about the importance of this workshop and what we took away from it. Check out what went down in Boise.
Sometimes, when you have a vision of something great, you have to be willing to make the journey from where you're at to where you want to be. Well, I'll be honest, Boise, Idaho is not the place I thought I would be on this journey. But that's where NADIS, the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Northwest chapter, was holding a storytelling workshop. And in all honesty, I can't say I want Back to Besa to be an Emmy award-winning show and not put in the work and the miles to take it there. So I hopped on the Alaska jet to the City of Trees to learn how to tell better stories from some of the best in our region to do it.
Very excited to be here. As you can see, we have young people here, college students. We have people in the field. We have people in corporate as well. We all are storytellers, and that's the reason why we're here today, to learn, to give, and also to be able to get back to the work that we do and tell really great stories.
Being in that workshop and kind of learning how to navigate that and listening to people who were trailblazers or are trailblazers made me feel like, okay, maybe I should keep going. I was gonna keep going anyways, but it gave me a lot of confidence, like, you know, you might be the only person in the room, but, you know, people notice you in positive ways and negative ways, but you have to just, you know, make your mark in the room.
For anyone who's watching that's young, that wants to become a content creator, a storyteller, or a journalist, you can do this. You have your phone. Like, you have so much opportunity and potential to just blow up and be viral if you want. And it's something that people from older generations didn't have. So just know you can do whatever you want, and there's room for everyone.
This is a workshop that is a non-profit-minded event, as a way for NADIS Northwest to give back, to invest in the next generation, but also to inspire those of us who've been in the industry for a while to get together, to collaborate, to learn from one another, and we're just thrilled with being able to offer this to the community.
Truly, it's just been a really great experience to be around like minds and to be around other storytellers. It feels really good being here today, and looking forward for us to do more of these.
Super excited because this is some outreach. You know, NADIS and the chapter we have, it's much more than about the Emmy Awards. It's about engaging with students, young professionals, kind of advancing the television arts.
It's a big day. The Storytellers Workshop here in Boise, Idaho. Some of the best and brightest minds in film, TV, production, getting together, sort of sharing our trade secrets. And for people like me, it's a chance to see how impressive these students are and how much I need to get better and how fast.
Just be yourself. Everyone's been saying it all day. Just be yourself, and that's how people kind of receive you. They'll just receive you well if you just walk into a room and you're like, I'm Jessica Davis. And they're like, okay.
I want to say thank you to everyone at NADIS, the instructors, and Boise State University. And best believe that on this journey to TV excellence, I'll keep trusting the process and showing up to learn as much as I can.
Showing up for yourself even when you aren't the most confident is the name of the game in 2024. So whether you're on TV and you want to attend the next NADIS conference, or you're in radio and you're looking forward to this year's morning show boot camp, whatever career you're in, if you have the ability to learn from those who are doing what you want to do, dude, go. What's the worst that can happen? You make new friends? Exactly. Now, to learn more about NADIS, go to nadisnw.org. Now, it is time for our last commercial break, but when we come back, it's time for Affirmation of the Week. Of course, you're watching Back to Besa. Welcome back to Besa. I'm your host, Besa Gordon, and if this is your first time joining us, each week we like to end the show with a quote or a mantra. This week's mantra is, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. This is one quote I hear the great Les Brown say a lot, and at first I was like, well, I can't be subpar either, but At the end of the day, you can be. You see, getting started is just a tipping point. Once you get started, that's when you're able to test out what works, get advice and pointers from others that are already doing what you want to do, and it's a way for you to see what you're made of and what you need to do to get where you need to be. But how are you supposed to know if you never get started? The best way to think of it is that, well, you're never going to be ready, so do it anyways. Now that's it for this week's episode of Back to Besa. I hope you enjoyed this week's show. Of course, if you have anything you want me to know about, shoot me an email, backtobesa@whereweconverge.com. And don't forget, you can catch me right here in Seattle on Hits 106.1, weekdays 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. and in Portland, Saturdays 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Jammin' 107.5. Now, dude, until next week, please do not forget, tune in Tuesday right here to Fox 13 Seattle for our film, Sankofa Theater, Inscape Finale, with a moderation by Fox 13's very own Sabira Rayford. And dude, it's right here again. It's community, it's ours. This is gonna be a story that I promise you do not wanna miss. So make sure you tell all your friends, okay? So anywho, until next week, I want for you guys to have an amazing rest of your day. And of course, keep that energy high.
There's a group of family who bought the building who have no intentions of it being an art space. Then Elijah was murdered.
Was riding with his 9-year-old nephew when they were both shot near Broadway and Pine just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
If the community wants to see Sankofa continue and thrive, we're gonna actually need your support on this.
Save the Sankofa Theater.
Save Sankofa. Save Sankofa.
Save Sankofa.
Save Sankofa.